With the release of the new dungeon, Sundered Doctrine, everyone has one question. How the fuck do you complete this thing? Well, that's what I'm here to do. I'm Elite, and here's your guide to Sundered Doctrine. Now, I want to make things clear, I am not going to be explaining the traversal sections. This is specifically about the encounters and where you learn mechanics. There won't be any secrets in this video, and for the most part it's just going to be gameplay of the encounters as we go through them. Starting off with the first encounter, the riddle. The point of this encounter is to connect the lights to a particular symbol. There are 4 rooms, each room having adds and a lens keeper subjugator. These subjugators drop a lens when killed. Surprise, surprise. The lens can be picked up and placed into one of the directional pedestals. In one of the 4 rooms, a Grim called a Truth Seeker will spawn. Killing this Grim will reveal a symbol that corresponds to one of the wheels in the room. There is 1 symbol wheel with 1 symbol on it per room, so there's 4 symbol wheels in total. Now, by rotating the pedestals with the lenses on them, you can make the lights connect to the wheels. Once the light is correctly connected to the correct symbol, the pyramid will accept it and the lenses will disappear and you'll be moving on to the second wave. Now, the second and third wave are the same as the first, but you'll have to do a second connection to the middle lenses. And then on the third wave, you'll have to do a third connection, and that will then complete the encounter if done correctly. Now, to find out subsequent symbols after you do the first one, there will be another Truth Seeker Grim that spawns in another room. You just have to find it and kill it to get the second symbol and then the third symbol once you're up to that point. If you connect a symbol incorrectly, however, and you let that cycle complete, it will fail you and you will have to deal with a tormentor that spawns in the center of the map. This isn't a big deal, however it is a massive time waste. As you can see from the gameplay, the encounter is very dread heavy. It's got a lot of stasis, solar and strand damage, so I suggest bringing those resists as well as big burst damage for the subjugators and a lot of ad clear for the attendants. However, once this is all complete, you'll be able to move on to the next encounter and what I believe to be the most tricky encounter in this dungeon. Before we get into the actual mechanics of the second encounter, as well as after you beat the traversal section, you'll come to this area. This is where you learn the main points of the next encounter, using the symbol wheels, as well as the meaning of each symbol. So as you'll notice, there's 2 wheels with 6 or 7 symbols on them each. Each symbol has a different meaning that I'll go through later. However, the first thing that we need to know is how the wheel works. So the wheel will rotate in a certain direction. To get it to change direction, you shoot the darkness crux above it. It'll either go counterclockwise or clockwise. The second thing you need to know is the wizards. The wizards drop knowledge. You can pick up a maximum of 3. These are as follows. Heightened knowledge is 1, 2 is brimming, and 3 is overload. Dunking your knowledge on a wheel moves it that many spaces in the direction that the center wheel is facing. So for this teaching section, your job is to get the 2 symbols that will open the door to the second encounter. Once this is completed, you will be on to the second encounter, and this is probably going to be the longest section of the video, so I'd appreciate if you liked and subscribed, and also grab a drink. So, for the boss, there are 4 bosses who share a health bar like the servitor from Vesper's host. There will be a lock progression bar at the top of your screen. This shows up 4 times where a cycle is finished. Wheel 1 is the furthest to the right and wheel 4 is the furthest to the left. Middle right is 2 and middle left is 3. Once the lock progression bar ends, whatever symbol is on the selected wheel will be locked and displayed in front of the shriekers from left to right. Now, this is the important part. Each symbol has a corresponding action if it is locked in, and they are as follows. Stop, nothing happens. Empty, the wheel activates symbol progression by 1 wheel's direction, meaning that the wheel will just spin a little bit. Hive spawns some hive combatants, most importantly 2 ogres on the right and the left. Commune, reading, shrieker spawns, darkness bees, which pursue players, so they're the bees that are from the Caretaker encounter and Vow of the Disciple. And I want to stress this, it doesn't make the damage phase longer. Commune has nothing to do with the damage phase. Whoever told you that is lying. And the kill symbol triggers damage for you to begin. So knowing all this, I believe that the ideal way you would want to do this encounter is to have wheels 1 to 3 as stop, so that you have minimal adds, and then have the last one be kill. To my knowledge, this is what results in the longest damage phase, as well as gives you the best chance at survival. Now, once you've done one damage phase, if the boss isn't dead, which, you know, you should be killing him in one phase, what are you, some kind of noob? You'll have to repeat the cycle and do it again and again until the boss is dead. This is rather simple once you get the hang of it, it just feels very information heavy. Now, talking about boss damage, I have seen a lot of different strategies revolving around arc specifically. The one that I used in this encounter, and that I've been teaching the few people that I've taken through so far, has been Thunderlord with the new Titan aspect, as well as Well. That has gotten us a solid 2 phases of damage for a kill. I've also seen Queen Breakers with the Catalyst and with the new Artifact perk be really powerful. However, I don't have the Artifact perk and I don't have the Catalyst for Queen Breakers, so I can't talk on that yet. I have also seen Anarchy be really powerful in this, which I haven't tested, but I'm going to give it a shot because I saw someone solo this encounter with the Rocket chest piece and Anarchy. Now, once the bosses are dead, there's still one more thing you have to do. Basically, the bosses will drop an eye somewhere at the front. It is your job to take that eye by shooting it up into where the chest spawns. I will put that on screen now to show you, but once you have been let out of this room, you'll have to run through a bunch of traversal. You'll eventually find another connect the light section, which isn't too difficult to do. You just need to connect enter to enter and worm to worm, and then you should be at the final boss. Going into the final boss, this encounter combines everything you've learned up to this point. You'll notice a full wheel of symbols behind the boss in the center. Keep it in mind, we'll talk about that later. In this encounter, you'll use the light like in the first encounter to connect to the symbol wheels. However, some of these lenses are strung with strand energy. You'll also notice cruxes holding them together. To destroy these strand cruxes, you'll need to kill a strand or stasis attendant and you'll get a buff for 7 seconds, allowing you to destroy the cruxes. Once the cruxes are destroyed, they will A, spawn threadlings, which are quite deadly, and B, free that lens or crux to be shot or moved. Now on screen there's going to be a map showing you where each symbol is. Your job in this encounter is to burn away lies. Now how do you burn away the lies? Basically, there's a left room and a right room. The right room uses a weighted pedestal to get into and a little hole to get out of. The left room uses a new mechanic, which is a door that you have to shoot the face of to get it to open. This door is seemingly a little bit buggy. Make sure you shoot the face because the interior areas do not count. Now, how do you tell what's true and what's a lie? Well, the True Seeker Grim is back and it's going to be in either the left room or the right room. Killing it will drop a true symbol. Now, this is the important part of the encounter. We want to get rid of the lie, not the truth. Meaning, those 6 symbols in the middle, one of them will correspond to the true symbol that the Grim dropped. We don't want to activate those, we want to activate the lies. So think of it like this. That wheel in the middle is split down the center with 3 on the left and 3 on the right. If you get Guardian, and Guardian is on the right, you want to make sure all of the symbols on the right are not glowing, and you want to make sure all the symbols on the left are glowing. You do this by connecting the wheels and the lights. Once your 3 false symbols are lit up and connected in the center, a pedestal will spawn and it will give you the ability to activate the wheel. Activating the wheel makes it so the ball above it starts shooting fire everywhere. If you have done this correctly, the boss's shield will deplete completely and you will have the opportunity to damage. If you've done it incorrectly, only half of the boss's shield will disappear and you will have to do the process all over again to begin damage. So I suggest not fucking it up. Additionally, the burning effect will almost kill you, or it will certainly kill you if you stand in the open long enough, so you will have to hide behind the pillars around the map or hide underneath the boss. There's a little underneath section where you can hide. That will protect you, basically stay in the shade. It's very similar to War Priest in that aspect, but once his shield is down, you damage him, and if you aren't one phasing, then you should just uninstall the game, if I'm being honest. Now, as for weapon suggestions and protection suggestions, I'm suggesting the same things as the second encounter. Thunderlord has been a solid 2, maybe 3 phase for the teams that I've run with. Queenbreakers seems to be very, very good. Anarchy seems to be alright here. I'm sure that there's a lot more damage strats to come as this has only been out for a few days. Now, if you followed these steps correctly and everything I've said, then you will have completed the Sundered Doctrine dungeon. Congratulations. I hope you have gotten the trace rifle. It's not a trace rifle, it's a linear fusion rifle, because I sure as hell won't. Now, I just want to throw in my thoughts at the end of how I feel about the dungeon. I think it's great. I really, really like the light beam mechanics. It's a lot more unique than what we usually get with the plate mechanics, and I'm glad Bungie has moved away from the stand here, defend this, and throw a ball at this mechanic. Additionally, I think the second boss is very, very cool in how the symbols can affect the gameplay, and you can actually affect how you interact with the encounter. The final boss is a little bit annoying with his strand abilities where he pulls you and suspends you. This isn't a massive deal though, as it's pretty easy to avoid. The gameplay that you've been watching was when I took 2 of my friends through. They got a pretty good grasp on the mechanics pretty quickly. They had trouble figuring out the lenses at first. Not so much what they did, but how to use them in the most efficient manner. But that's probably just something that comes with experience, and honestly, I had the same issue when I was running it on contest with the first encounter. Additionally, I think I enjoy this more than Vesper's Host. Vesper's Host was a clusterfuck of ads and things that made it so you couldn't stand still, and to this day it's still the only dungeon that I haven't soloed and do not plan on soloing. I will be soloing this one on my live stream, so I'd suggest you check it out at twitch.tv/InfernalXElite. As well as I want to give a big shout out to Strath and Serotonin. They helped me get this footage, and it was a big help because honestly I wasn't going to get this footage solo anytime soon. That's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you subscribe and come back for more. I've got a lot of great content coming, as well as a part 2 to that Warframe review video, and I promise it'll actually be a good video this time. I'm not going to shit take it.